Thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. Look, I'm going to be frank with you. There is a lot of great people out there putting out great content. I consider myself one of them, right? We'll just put us all in the same bucket. And I'm not excluded from this. At times, some of us are going to say something that might not really fully encapsulate the gravity of whatever we're talking about. And sadly, what can happen is a veteran who's listening to this, or a spouse or whoever, might self-segregate out of applying to something that they rightfully should be applying to. Now, I try to catch myself if I say something that might not fully kind of define what I'm looking for. So the purpose of this is to really outline a few misperceptions that might be out there based on certain verbiage that's used by people in the industry. Okay, and what I mean by people in the industry is people who are trying to help veterans, whether you're accredited with the VA or you're just going off your own experience, or even if you're volunteering somewhere, you're surrounded by whatever. We're all good intentioned, right? So that's the bottom line. We're all trying to share information with all of our veteran brothers and sisters. That's the bottom line. But what I want everybody to understand is dig into things and look for ways to say yes. That's the scope you have to think about. And I'm going to give a few examples here because it really bothers me when I think that and even the sit rep does this, the VA sit rep. They'll say things, they'll leave something out, right? I don't know if it's intentional or not, but I sit there and I listen and I go, you probably could have said that a little bit differently to capture somebody's awareness on a specific claim, action, or whatever. So here's one that I really don't like that's said a lot by all kinds of people. The VA, everybody, right? They say this. So when they talk about having a successful claim with the VA, they will throw out, you need to have an in-service event. Okay. If that's what you need for a successful claim, is an in-service event to connect a condition to, that really disqualifies a lot of people's potential claims because there's no specific in-service event that caused the condition, unless it's an injury, right? So barring an injury, that's a hard bar to hit. Now, yes, a successful claim can use and should use an in-service event if it's necessary for that specific condition. And it really comes into play if you got out of the service and you never got diagnosed for it while you were in service, right? Let's say that you were in a Humvee and you wrecked it. Right? So you got in a car accident, either on or off base, doesn't matter, in a government vehicle, right? So everything gets documented really good, all the people that were there, the statements, all that good stuff. So you get this whole package, right? So let's say that you got hurt in that a little bit. You jarred your neck, your back, whatever, something got tweaked, but you declined going to see anybody and you never documented anything. Then you got out and a couple years later, you went and got diagnosed for some sort of a neck issue or back issue or whatever. And you said, well, it probably happened, or I know it happened when I got in that vehicle accident. Well, now you have an in-service event that you're trying to tie it to for a nexus, right? So you would pull up that documentation. You were there, you were in one of the vehicles, you had a statement about it, and now your doctor says it's at least likely not to have occurred during that accident, which ties it to your military service, all that good stuff, right? So there is a great example of where you really need to have that in-service event. Now, where you don't need one is, what about migraine headaches or GERD, right? Bad heartburn, okay? Let's use those two examples, which have extremely high potential for a rating. So you're often going to see that somebody can get into the 30s or potentially 50%, that's the highest for migraines, and 30 or even potentially 60% for GERD, which is the highest for GERD. Okay, so high rating opportunities for those two conditions. Now let's say that a veteran has those two conditions, and let's say that that veteran has a family history of those two conditions. everybody in their family has migraines and everybody in their family has horrible GERD. Okay, just to paint the picture here. Now, everybody in that veteran's family started getting those two things when they were 20 years old. Okay, started getting migraines at 20 and started getting GERD at 20. Before that, clean slate, no issues, no problems. So you, veteran, join the military at 18. You're gung-ho, you're killing it, slaying it, doing whatever, making things happen, right? Year 1, year 2, next thing you know, you're 20 and bam, all of a sudden you start getting migraine headaches and you got GERD. The VA does not care that you have a family history of it. They care that you didn't have it when you joined and now you have it. Okay, there's no in-service event. There's no magical in-service event, right? This is the point that I'm trying to get to here. There is no in-service event that caused your GERD or your migraines. So to the uneducated veteran who's trying to figure out how can I file a claim and what can I file for, when they hear I need an in-service event, well, there's none for that, so I can't file for that, is what they think. And now they just missed out potentially on a 50% and a 60% rating because they heard something and created their own definition in their mind because it sounds like I need this magical thing to have happened that I can say this caused this. And it's simply not the case. What you need is my condition started during my time in service. The best way to document that, sadly, you're not told this when you're in or when you join, is to get diagnosed for it while you're in service. Okay, so that would create the nexus, right? That, hey, I joined and I have a clean slate when I joined. Now I'm in. Now I get diagnosed in the middle of my service. Easy. Unfortunately, a lot of us don't do that. A lot of us just over-the-counter medication, and that's kind of it, and just deal with it, push on. The next step would be maybe, just maybe, you checked a box somewhere, you complained about something at some point. When you were getting out, your physical health assessment, maybe you checked some boxes. Maybe you checked, I have heartburn. Maybe you checked, I have headaches, painful joints, these types of things on that out process and paperwork, which you can order if you don't have. And that would be your nexus. That's me talking about it when I'm in service. And you can use that as your nexus. Okay? Now, let's use another one that people get kind of wrapped around the axle on. Service-connected disability. That term, service-connected disability, disability in itself, the word often evokes images of crutches, missing a leg, those types of things. So we tend to self-segregate out. Well, I'm not that person. I have both my legs, both my arms, and I can get up and walk. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it's painful. Yeah, I can't sleep. But that's not a disability. I mean, come on. Or my heartburn's not a disability. Get real. Right? So you self-segregate out because you assume, we all do, we assume that what they mean by that is something, horrible. And then to take it one step further, when we hear 100% rating, we assume 100% is the maximum because we can't go higher than 100%, right? So 100% is 100%. So we assume that 100% means that that's the maximum, which means our brother or sister that's rolling in the convoy and gets hit by the IED, multiple surgeries later, some skin grafts, they're going to be 100%. So why the heck should somebody who has heartburn, some arthritis, some back problems, and migraine headaches, and maybe a couple other things, why should they be at 100%? The reason why is because there's a whole other rating schedule out there that nobody ever talks about, and it's SMC, Special Monthly Compensation. And that rating schedule, it's a full schedule for ratings, it more than doubles the compensation that comes out of the 0 to 100% rating schedule. And it's really reserved for the more serious circumstances, right? The missing limbs, that type of stuff. Okay? So our brothers and sisters are being taken care of on that rating schedule. Trust me. There's also adaptive housing grants that come from the VA. There's car allowance. There's all kinds of things that can come from the VA for the more severe situations. The rating schedules for the 0 to 100%, in my opinion, everybody, a good 80% of everybody who served in the military would qualify for something. Minimal, but something. Sadly, out of the 16.5 million veterans, less than 30%, it's probably like 27% of veterans are actually utilizing the VA for compensation or pension monetary style benefits. So with that, I just wanted to make sure that it's really been bothering me, and I wanted to just get it out there to everybody to really be aware of what you are actually capable of filing for with your VA claims. Don't let certain terms or verbiage distract you. If you're not sure, pick up the phone and call a veteran service office with accredited reps and have a conversation with them. Doesn't cost you anything. It's a free service to help you file your claim, and they'll walk you through it, and they will see if you have a potential for a successful claim. The biggest hurdle for most folks is they didn't document anything when they were in service. It's all after the fact, and so you're trying to build that bridge back to your time in service. But again, this is what those folks are there for, and they can help you with it. So with that, I'll go ahead and cut it. Thanks again for each and every one of you. I appreciate all of your support. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.